Hi everyone and happy Sunday. I hope you all had a really lovely Christmassy week. For today's video I'm going to be doing a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial, and this is how I'm going to be doing my makeup on New Year's Eve, and it's what I'm wearing right now, so if you still need a few ideas about your makeup, keep watching. So first of all I'm going to use a primer to make sure my makeup lasts the whole night, and I'm going to be using the Laura Geller Spackle Trio. This has a face primer in the bottom and an eye and lip primer in the lid. So I'm going to be using the face primer first, and this is very similar to the Laura Mercier primer. It's very kind of water-based and fresh feeling, and then I'm just going to use the eye primer. This look is very much about the eyes. I'm not doing much to my lips, as you can see, so I'm going to use the eye primer to make sure my shadow stays in place. Then onto foundation, and I'm going to be using the YSL Youth Liberator foundation. Remember, if you are going out, try and use a foundation that doesn't have SPF in it, because it will flash back in photos, but I'm just going to a friend's house, so I don't think there'll be much flash photography there, so I'm going to use this because it leaves a really nice glow. And I'm just buffing this in with the Real Techniques buffing brush, blending it around all the edges, down my neck, making sure it's completely smooth. Now onto concealer, and first of all I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown corrector in Light Bisque, and using a just standard concealer brush, I get it right into the inner corners of my eye where there's any dark blue or purples, and then blend it out using the Real Techniques setting brush. Once I've corrected any dark circles, I'm then going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer under my eye, and this is in the shade Vanilla. It's really brightening, creamy, it's not at all cakey, and I just blend that out with the same brush, making sure I go all the way to the edge of the outer corner of my eye. To conceal the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer. This is so nice and creamy. You can use your fingers or a brush to blend it out. I just apply it to my chin, around my nose, down my nose, anywhere where I have any spots, and sometimes I use a bit under my eyes as well if I need extra coverage there. So after the foundation and all that concealing, I want to make sure everything stays and sets in place. So I'm going to use a translucent powder. Translucent just means there's no colour, so there's no extra coverage, it just sets everything in place. And I'm going to be using the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass powder with the Charlotte Tilbury Powder and Sculpt brush. I really like this brush because you can get right into the corners of the eye. I like to set under my eye, my forehead, down my nose, on my chin. Just a light dusting of powder, but it really sets everything in place. Now onto bronzer, and because this foundation shade is slightly yellow for me, I like to use a little bit extra bronzer just to kind of get back to normal skin colour so I don't look too sallow. And I'm going to use the NARS Laguna bronzer with my Real Techniques blusher brush, and I just use like a 3 shape around the side of my face, make sure I go down to my neck or my ears just in case they show, and down my nose, just adding a bit of extra glow and warmth to my face. It's New Year's Eve, so a bit of kind of glitzy highlighter I think is an essential, and I'm going to use the Benefit What's Up highlighter, which comes with like a stick on one end and then a kind of blender on the other, but I like to just use my finger, rub it on, and then apply it to the tops of my cheekbones, down my nose, on my cupid's bow, sometimes under my brow. You can also use this in the inner corner of your eye. It's really versatile because it's cream, it looks natural, but it's also very kind of highlighting, and you can definitely see it catches in the light, and it's really pretty. Because the eyes are a little heavy, I like to keep my blush quite basic and neutral, so I'm going to use the Becca Flower Child blush, which is one I've absolutely been loving recently. And with that, my Bobbi Brown sheer powder brush, which is just the perfect size for blush. It's really soft, you don't apply too much, and this blush just adds a little bit of colour without being too bright. It's just perfect and really complements this eye look. Okay, now onto the brows, and because the eyes are quite heavy, I want to even things out and make sure my brows just look kind of perfect. So first of all I'm going to use the Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil, and I really love this. It comes with a little spoolie on one end, so I like to brush out my brows, kind of brushing them upwards, and then I use the other end, which is a really soft pencil, and just fill in the beginning parts. That's the only part I really need to fill in, just make sure it looks even. So I very lightly add some strokes there and do it on both sides, and then once I am done I use the Blink Clear Brow Gel, and this just sets everything in place, keeps my brow hairs in place because they like to move around a lot, they are quite long, and then they just stay there. This is really nice, it doesn't leave any white bits, it doesn't make your eyebrows crispy, it just does the job really well. Okay, so now onto the eyes. I've already primed them at the beginning, and for this look I'm going to be using the new Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. I do like this, it's definitely not my favourite. I think I prefer 1 and 2. This one's slightly more rose coloured, and I find it quite hard to wear pinks. But there are a few colours at the top end of the palette, this end, which I absolutely love. The 3 I'm going to be using are Liar, Mugshot and Factory. They're very kind of plummy, taupey tones, so they're really nice, and I've actually been wearing this look in a few of my last videos, and I've had so many compliments on my eye look, so this is how I've been wearing it pretty much. So I'm going to take my MAC 217 brush, and you only need one brush for this look. You can actually use all 3 shades on this one brush. So I start with the shade Liar, which is a really nice kind of pinky light plum. And I just like to put this all over the lid. It's really gorgeous and shimmery, and I absolutely love this colour. So just using like a wiper motion, make sure you cover the entire lid with this colour. Then I'm going to take Mugshot, which is a bit more of a kind of grey taupe. And using the same brush, take a little bit and just work that on the second half of the outer part of the eyelid. Again, using wiper motions, just making sure it all blends in. Then I'm going to take Factory, which is the darkest sort of brown taupe, and just a light tiny bit on the tip of the 217 brush. I'm going to take it right to the outer corner of the eye and just blend it across the eye. So with this whole thing, just keep blending, using wiper motions with the brush. And these 3 shades really blend really nicely into each other. So you end with like a nice plummy, taupey brown look with a little bit of kind of pink shimmer in there. I'm also going to take that shade Factory under the eye using my amazing Kevyn Aucoin brush, which I love, just taking it under the outer corners of the eye. It really kind of adds smokiness to the look. Once all the eyeshadow has been applied, I like to take a big fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is my Bobbi Brown one, just anything that's big, fluffy and soft, and then using really fast wiper motions, just blend out that shadow on the edge so there's no kind of harsh edges. Just really keep blending, 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 and it will look really nice when you're done. So I'm not finished yet on the eyes. I really wanted to add something a little bit special. It is New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is all about the glitter and the shimmer. So I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Diamond Dog eyeshadow, and this was recommended by Amelia from Liana Beauty, and it's amazing. I would never ever normally use a glitter eyeshadow, but there's just something about this. It's beautiful. It's like a taupey brown eyeshadow with intense silver glitter. I asked the lady at the counter, like, how the hell do I apply this without ending up with glitter everywhere? And she said just kind of press it on with your finger. So the final step of this eyeshadow look is to take some of this onto my finger and just press it onto the lid, and you'll see it leaves an absolutely gorgeous silvery glittery shimmer all over the lid, and it just catches the light beautifully and really kind of adds to the whole look and makes it very New Year's Eve. Once the eyeshadow is done, I like to use an eyeliner. I'm not going to add too much of like a thick line, it's just to make the lashes look a bit fuller, and I'm going to use MAC Teddy, which is just a really nice dark brown. I like to take it all the way along the upper lash line, slightly thicker on the outer edge but not too much. So before I go on to mascara, I like to curl my lashes. I only really do this when I have like nights out. I don't do it on an everyday basis. These are the Shu Uemura eyelash curlers, which are just the best, they really are. I have the gold ones now, which are very pretty. So just put them onto your lashes, squeeze very gently first to make sure that you're not going to catch your lid, and then press down quite hard for a few seconds and do that on both lashes, and it just opens your eyes and adds a bit more of a lift, and it really makes a difference before you apply your mascara. So I'm going to be using 2 Clinique mascaras for this look. For the top lashes, I'm going to use my absolute favourite High Impact Extreme Volume. This one just gives the most kind of volume look, so I like to use this on nights out. I do have lots of mascaras that I like, but this one is just the best, so for good occasions I have to always use this. So I use this on my top lashes, just wiggling it in at the root, making sure I get all the way to the tip of the lashes. You can even do 2 coats if you need it. And then for the bottom lashes, I'm also using the Clinique, I don't know what this is called, but it's like their mini tiny brush, and it literally has the miniest brush. So you can use this on your bottom lashes and on the corners if you missed any lashes at the top as well. So I'm just running this very lightly because I don't like to put too much mascara on my bottom lashes. So that's the eyes finished, and there's only one more thing to this look, and it's lips. And I didn't want to wear bright red or anything too glossy because the eyes are, I mean, I have glitter on my eyelids, so I really can't go too over the top with my lips. So I'm going to be wearing this Kiko lipstick, and it hasn't got a nice name, it's just got like a number. I'll link it below, but it's one of their kind of creamy formulas and I absolutely love it. It comes in this fancy packaging as well that you kind of pop out. I really love this lipstick. It's a really nice peachy kind of nude, everyday, goes with everything, not too pink, not too peach. Absolutely love it. It's really moisturising on the lips but also kind of lasts, it doesn't just slip off the lips straight away. So I'm just going to put that on, and I think that goes really nicely with the kind of taupey, purpley eyes. If you're wondering what's on my nails, I have Topshop Moonshine, which is really nice rose gold, and then on my 4th accent finger I have the Ciate Sequin Manicure in Miss Mistletoe. So this is literally sequins, you put on a top coat and then dunk your finger in the sequins, and after it's a bit messy, you get sequins everywhere and you have to kind of brush them off and then pour it back into the pot. But when you're done, it looks amazing. I literally have sequin nails, which I think is so appropriate for New Year's Eve. I have a blog post on my blog today with these nails, so I'll link that below and you can go look at proper photos of them. For my hair, I like to take my GHDs, and my hair was already straight, but I wanted to kind of give it a bit of movement and do something a little bit more exciting. So first of all, I used the Blandi Dry Heat Protect Spray. This is really good because it's an aerosol, so it doesn't make your hair wet if it's already straight. You just spray it all over and it protects your hair before you straighten it. So I use that first, and then I take my GHDs, and just taking small sections of the hair, I just clip the HDs on and then twist them going away from the front of the face, and then hold it there for a few seconds and pull it down, and you're left with a really nice kind of loose wavy curl. Mine doesn't really last that long, my hair, even when I use hairspray, but it just adds a bit of movement to your hair overall. Once I've done that all over the hair, I then take some of the Bumble and Bumble Dry Spun Finish Spray and just spray this into the root of the hair to give a bit of volume and texture, and I don't know, I just really like how this makes my hair look. For the ends of my hair that might look a little bit fluffy, I use the Bumble and Bumble Semi Sumo, and this is like a wax. I just rub it in between my fingers and then kind of grip the bottom of my hair in different sections, making sure I like kind of the finish, make sure there's nothing too fluffy or frizzy anywhere. So then all that's left is to put on a perfume that you love. This one is from Tom Ford. It's completely luxury and beautiful. It's like a grown-up sweet perfume. If you don't love sweet perfumes, this is a great alternative. It just smells like the most sexy perfume ever, so it's appropriate for New Year's Eve, and it just makes me feel really nice. So that was my New Year's Eve makeup tutorial, and this is what it looks like. Nothing too over the top and crazy, I'm just seeing friends, but something kind of pretty and glittery for New Year's Eve. I hope you have fun whatever you're doing on the night, and don't forget to check back on the 2nd on Thursday for the first part of my 2013 Beauty Favourites video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye! So I've got the questions on my phone here, and the first one is, what is the oldest item in your wardrobe? The first thing I thought of when I saw this question